Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Big Condo podcast. I'm Hayley Jane, your host, and this evening we have a gentleman with a fabulous name called Milan.
Hello.
And he's in a group called Slower, a musical group in Liverpool called Slower. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your band. Why did it become Slower?
Well, we've known each other for maybe 10 years because we went to the same secondary school, and we've been in bands. Like, two of us would be in a band and then the other two would be in a band, and I mean, just kind of being aware of each other and knowing we did music, and then we just thought, well, we should probably get together, us three, and make something, and we've been in kind of just normal indie bands and things like that. We wanted to make something that was a bit different to kind of challenge us, and just musically for like our own kind of pleasure, and see if anyone liked it, and people seem to like it.
And seem to like it, yeah. So you produce material that's got a little bit more depth to it and like challenges you as artists. Who would you say you're influenced by?
People like Radiohead and Bjork, a lot of like modern composers like Steve Reich and things like that, krautrock, which is like German electronic stuff, just as far out as you can kind of go before it starts to just become like noisy. You know, there's still recognisable instruments, and there's still recognisable kind of song structures and things, but there'll be maybe things that are off about it, or things that you know you need to kind of adjust your ear and kind of but they perk people's ears up more.
You know quite abstract, but it works, it blends. There's still like strong melodies and there's poppy bits, but I think it's just wrapped up in something that's a bit less familiar. Would you say that's what your music is like?
Just trying to balance the weirder elements. It's like a Goldilocks zone, like what like Earth is, you know what I mean? When you're like, it's not too hot nor too cold. It's kind of just right, you know what I mean? Where you're like, oh, it's interesting, and it kind of satisfies that part of your brain, but it's not as weird where you're kind of turned off and you're like,
but my ears picture that kind of thing though. I mean, I love the general, like from the 60s, 70s, the Doors and Led Zeppelin and Janis Joplin and all things like that, but I do like the different kind of music where it brings in different language, different cultures. It blends together. I was saying before, I listened to a group called Noga Eras, and they are from Israel, I think they are, which take the politics out of it. She's an amazing artist, and she blends R&B, hip hop, rap, jazz. You can hear all the jazz influences, and there's somebody from Romania and somebody from Czech Republic, whatever, but they come together and you can hear those cultural influences, and randomly someone starts speaking in their language, and then the different type of instrument, it just sounds different, and I like it because it's not just your general indie music and the conforming to the norm. I like it because it's kind of outside of the box. No, I agree. I like that kind of stuff too, and obviously things from the 60s and 70s were kind of, they were new then, but now it's like, you know, things become that. You know, there's a lot of things now with like, it's like hyper pop and things where you've got like Charlie XCX and people like that now who were like big mainstream artists, but those sounds probably like 5 or 10 years ago, they wouldn't have worked. They wouldn't have worked. Do you know what I mean? They wouldn't have got popular. But it's just like exposure, you know, to those genres over time. We were saying before, weren't we, like over the many years that music's been evolving, how do people keep creating something new all the time? But these new generations do, don't they? But you can see the influences from the past. I think you're always going to be influenced by and something. What is it that the kind of music that you produce and the vibe that you're producing, do you want it to kind of have a strong connection with your listeners? What is it that you kind of want them to, how do you want them to react to your music?
I'm not too fussed about like interpretations of like words and things like that. I think it's more about like the atmosphere that the song will bring. I think that's like the conscious thing, that every song has got to be a different mood or say something that another song hasn't. So it's like, I like pop music, but say, you know, where it's like somebody does a love song and then does another love song or does another one, it's like, I think if you've got one and it's the best one you've done, then I'm like, I've got to think of something, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm conscious to not repeat myself.
Yeah.
But that's just in the context of this band, you know, it's just to try and cover all bases and all the things that we like. So
could you put yourself into a genre, do you think?
I suppose it's just the like indie band setup of just guitar, vocals, bass and drums, but
you just try to push the elements of that.
Like the use of like the effects and things. Like I use like my laptop and a computer and all kind of like looping, like I'm looping live and things. So it's all things that are fairly normal, but
keep the sound a bit more organic.
Presented differently, you know what I mean? Yeah.
So you said your influences are like Radiohead and Bjork, things. Were they who you were listening to when you were younger?
Yeah, just my mum. Just
if from a musical background.
Yeah, my mum sings, and we used to listen to all that kind of Radiohead and Bjork when I was growing up. And my uncle plays guitar, my auntie plays piano, so just growing up, and we had like old kind of instruments just in the house lying about. Nobody really told me go and play that. It was kind of just, they're just there and he'll figure it out by himself kind of thing.
It's organic.
Yeah. So I think one day I just decided, I think I used to write first, like words and lyrics and things, which I still got somewhere, like just, you know, 8-year-old me just chatting rubbish. And then,
I think if you're a creative and artist, it's just there, isn't it? There's some sort of seed planted at a young age, and
and seeing it's the environment as well. You know what I mean? Just being around other people who value that and don't kind of
don't jar your expression and allow you to evolve.
Yeah, and that's given equal importance to as something like maths or whatever. Obviously, that's like a thing in schools as well, isn't it? Where it's like placing interest in like how much value you put on things. But
my dad was a musician, and I played I didn't play the guitar. I played the violin at school and the recorder. But again, he didn't push me, and when I wanted to stop doing it, he didn't force me to carry on. Which in a way I wish he did, but it's got to come from yourself, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean you can't force somebody to do that, and it's the whole point is it's self-expression. I think if you're doing it for any other reason, you're not going to get the full
enjoyment
benefits
out of it.
out of it.
Yeah, and I believe you like sharing your music. You're saying before about working with young children.
Yeah.
How did all that come about?
Well, I did volunteering in maybe 2021. That was like a youth in a youth centre. It was teaching kids, like some of them played piano, some of them did guitar, and it was just guiding them really. Like it was every like Friday after school, and then I started doing it in schools, teaching ukulele in like SEN schools and things like that.
Did you find that rewarding?
Oh, definitely, yeah. They're really sweet, you know.
Because music just brings you alive, doesn't it? I'm sure it's saved a lot of people's lives, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think even like when you play like a kid's favourite like theme song, or like, can you play that, and you play it, like the faces like light up, you know, it's that like initial thing, and you hope that like, not that I'm going to inspire them to do whatever, but you never know, do you? You might be like, you never know. You can always remember that
teacher from school who lit your eyes up. It was I always loved the English teachers. The English teachers are the one that did the school performances, the one that was directed them. Always the creative teacher that I always seemed to be like, oh, wow, I want to be like you.
Yeah, so it makes people more human, especially when you're a kid and you see teachers and things. It's like, you think it's all very rigid, and it's all like, you're like, oh, they're a teacher. But I think when you see the joy that those kind of arts, like art and music and things like that bring to people, it's like you see people for kind of what they are, I guess, like at their best. Yeah.
So Slower, the band, like, how often do you perform? How often do you get together?
Practice like once a week, but we're always kind of writing and bouncing ideas off each other. Like we're just sending each other like links to some little pithy idea that's barely an idea, and then somebody will go
and like a lyric that came out, you like would record it on your phone.
So it's always kind of on my mind, but play gigs maybe like once or twice a month. And playing live is I never used to enjoy it because I found it kind of stressful and found it like Yeah,
it's nerve-wracking, isn't it?
Yeah, but I wasn't even so much nervous. I think I was just like, it wasn't what I had in my head, kind of, you know what I mean, when you're perfectionist, but to a degree where it's like you're not even enjoying it, you know what I mean? And it's like, obviously I was like 18 or 19, so it's never going to be, we're nowhere near like,
no, but you doubted yourself,
or whatever, you know what I mean? So you're just like on stage, you're like, why doesn't it sound
how it is in my head?
Yeah, or like, why doesn't it sound like amazing, you know what I mean? And now it's getting closer to amazing, but you know. But
you've carried on, you've evolved, so what's that driving force behind it?
Just wanting to make something that is new and interesting, and something that you're genuinely like proud of, where you think, well, like I know that I've kind of pushed myself musically and in all of those kind of creative ways, but obviously it has to sound good. It's like a perfect marriage of complexity and emotion, you know what I mean? Because sometimes it can be too complex and the whole message is like lost. I mean, there can be music like that, and there can be music that's kind of too simple, where there's nothing new, or it's too straightforward that the listener can't put their own experiences on it. So it's like, again, find that kind of middle ground. Yeah,
because normally when you put a song in, you can tell within the first few seconds if you're going to skip it along or not. It has to like really grab me.
Yeah, especially like even songs that evolve. Like I don't want a song that we've made for you to listen 1 minute in and listen 3 minutes in, for you to not notice any change, you know what I mean? Like you want it to kind of, it's like each song is like its own little story, and it goes somewhere, and it isn't, just verse chorus whatever. You want to test every possible like facet of a song and kind of take bits out and rearrange bits and see what you can do with it.
Where do you want it to go with Slower?
Obviously I think recording definitely would be,
get an album out.
I think that kind of suits the music that we make. I don't think you're going to listen to one single and get like an idea, you know what I mean? It's more like,
because some albums you get 1 or 2 singles and the rest of it's like
I think it just makes sense when you're trying to cover as many bases. It's like you probably need like 10 songs to go, well, that's the whole breadth of what we can do. Whereas some people can do that in one song, and that's like I think that's quite amazing that some bands can do that, where you're like, they've managed to still like their sound into like one song and they like perfected it. But like I just don't think I could do that in one song. It'd have to be some mad long song.
You don't know along the way, but that's what you want to keep you moving your band forward. You don't see yourself giving up?
No, definitely not. No. That would be just impossible.
On touring, Have you got any gigs that you would like to plug?
Yeah, we're playing the Cavern on Tuesday.
Coming?
Yeah, I can't remember what is that date. I think it's the 26th.
26th.
Yeah, I'm terrible with dates.
Do you at the Cavern on the 26th, playing original music?
Yeah, that's for a charity event, and then sometime in December for Big Condo, I think we're playing in the Cavs stock room as well.
Fabulous, one of the regular joints. Yeah. Have you performed with Big Condo before?
Yeah, we performed in Warrington not long ago. I think it was just around Halloween, and that was really good actually. Yeah, it was quite fun. Meet new people and networking and well, we got offered a gig on the way back. Well, there you go. That's a great thing about it, isn't it? Just walking past with instruments, and
you get opportunity to perform yourself and then connect.
Well, it's been an absolute music, don't you?
It's been an absolute pleasure, Milan, and it's been great chatting to you, and I'll connect with you on the socials, and it'd be interesting to see how you evolve, and I'm sure I'll be one of your big Condo events at one point and come and see you live.
That'd be great.
So thank you, Milan. Where can we find you on your socials? What is it?
It's at Slower the Band.
At Slower the Band. I've been Hayley Jane. This is Milan, and this is Big Condo Records podcast. Thank you very much. See you next time.